everybody, it's Kendra. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been here before. My video today is a very special video. I am partnering up with Dress for Success today for my video. So if you don't know Dress for Success, basically it is an organization all across the US that helps prepare women for interviews. They provide business attire, so that's why it's called Dress for Success. My video today, it's not dealing with the clothing, but it's dealing with beauty tips to help prepare for interviews. You know, if you've never used makeup, if you're not really into like beauty and all this girly sort of stuff, I wanted to do a video about this because it is important, you know, to put your best face forward. And if you've never done makeup before, it can be really, really intimidating. So I am here to help you get over that intimidation because I love this stuff. So yeah, here are my beauty tips for interviews. Okay, tip number one, less is more. Less is always more. More is always more. More is always too much. So if you're thinking, should I add a little more blush? Should I add a little more lipstick? No, don't do it. Less is more. An interview is not the place to show your interviewer how fabulous of a smoky eye you can do or how like big you can tease your hair. Keep it simple. You want to look natural, you want to look pretty, but you don't want to look really crazy. You don't want to look like you're going to a nightclub. So keep it simple. Less is more. Number two, practice. If you are not someone who loves playing with makeup and hair and all of this stuff, take some time and practice. I recommend, you know, putting on your business suit, putting on what you're gonna wear for your interview, and just, you know, playing with your makeup, playing with your hair, figuring out what works for you, figuring out, you know, how you want to present yourself on interview day. I recommend doing this a couple days, you know, tweaking your appearance, making sure you've got everything down, you know what you're going to do. That way, on interview day, first of all, it's not going to take you too long to get ready because you'll already know exactly what you want to do for your interview. But when you're actually doing your interview, you're going to appear more comfortable and more confident. If if your hair is a different style than it normally is, or if you're suddenly wearing makeup but you normally don't wear makeup, you're not gonna feel comfortable right away. Like it's a different thing, it's new, it's weird. And if you're fidgeting with your hair or you're like, you know, looking in a mirror or playing with your clothes, it's going to show to the interviewer. You want to put your best face forward. You want to appear confident. You want to be comfortable. I don't want you thinking about your hair and your makeup while you're interviewing. I want you to think about, you know, your skills, what you're good at, why you should be hired for this job. The beauty stuff is great. It's important. But when you come into your interview, I don't want you thinking about any of this stuff. All right, number three is all about hair. I've got a couple things for hair. First, get a haircut a couple weeks before your interview. And also, if you color your hair, get your hair colored a couple weeks in advance as well. Why? A couple reasons. Let's say you go to a salon and they sort of mess it up. You don't want to have your hair messed up the day before. You want to have time to fix this. You want to have time to like deal with this and figure out this problem. And also, if you get your hair colored a couple weeks in advance and cut a couple weeks in advance, you need time to sort of let your hair soften. I color my hair. I don't color my hair to be a drastic color, but every time I color it, I think it looks really, really bad for a few days. It just needs time, you know, you need to wash it a couple times, get a little bit of the color out. It just needs to soften and just become much more natural looking. If you just get it colored and you just get it cut, it's going to be a little bit harsh. Of course, when you are getting your hair cut and colored, you know, ask for something very natural. Don't ask for any crazy drastic changes. And also, ask your hairstylist how to style it. If you have never used, you know, a hot iron before, or a curling iron, or any of this stuff, ask them what to do. Ask your stylist for a very simple, sort of everyday look that you can do. Then go home and practice it. Okay, and finally with your hair, on the day of your interview, style your hair how you would on a day-to-day basis. You don't want your interview hair to look one way and then if you actually get the job to look like a completely different person. I recommend styling it down or perhaps up in like a bun or a ponytail. Just something very simple, easy, that looks natural and also professional and clean. Okay, number 4 is all about nails. I think your nails are something very, very important to think about when you do an interview, but I think it's something that's often overlooked. First of all, you don't need to go get a manicure. You don't need to be all fancy with this. Just get a nail file, file your nails, make sure they are clean. You don't need to polish your nails. But if you do polish your nails, I recommend sticking with a very neutral polish. Now is not the time to be bringing out, you know, like the neon oranges and the bright reds and the hot pinks and the purples and the blues and the greens, all these crazy colors. Save those for the weekend. Save those for later. Before your interview, stick with something neutral. First of all, it just looks more professional. And second of all, if you chip your nails and it's a nude neutral shade, it's not that easy to spot. But if you have a bright red manicure that looks, you know, very, very beautiful, but then you got a big old chunk out of it, a big old chip, that's so easy to spot, and it just doesn't look very nice. So I say, you know what, clear polish or a very, very light nude shade or buff or pink, something like that. Keep it simple, less is more. Number 5, perfume. For your interview, I recommend not wearing any perfume or any sort of like body sprays, body splashes. You don't want to go into your interview and have the interviewer think, wow, this person stinks. Like, this person has way too much perfume. There's way too much going on. This person has this crazy, crazy smell. Of course, please don't smell bad. You know, please take a shower, put on deodorant, please be clean for the interview, but you don't need to add a ton of scent. Wait until you actually get hired to pull out your perfume, and then in that case, go simple as well, you know, just wear a spritz or two. But for the actual interview, I would say don't wear any scent. You want the interviewer focusing on you and your strong points and your skills and your personality and all this, not on the way you smell. Number 6, makeup, one of my favorites. For your makeup for your interview, keep it simple. You don't need to do anything too crazy. Your makeup for your interview should maybe take 10 minutes. It should not take that long because you don't need to do that much. I would recommend using foundation, a concealer, some blush, mascara, and either a lipstick or a lip gloss. Basically, your goal with makeup is going to be to even out your skin tone, you know, hide any blemishes, redness, dark circles. You want to add a bit of glow to your cheeks and open up your eyes. I recommend using an eyelash curler to really open up your eyes. And then mascara. It's very, very simple. This should not take you a very long time. So I am going to show you a very quick tutorial of how I did this makeup look. All right, the foundation I'm using today is by L'Oreal. This is their True Match Super Blendable Makeup, and this has SPF 17. So the shade I am in is W3. Basically, I'm just going to put a little bit, not a little bit, clearly a lot on the back of my hand. Only need a little bit. Most of that will be wiped off with a Kleenex later. Basically, I'm just gonna like dot some around my face. Oh my goodness, I think I have enough foundation for about 10 people right here. So I'm just dotting it kind of all over. And then I'm using a brush. Now you could also use a sponge. You could use a little makeup sponge. The brushes I'm using today are all by Real Techniques. I love Real Techniques brushes. They're super, super affordable and they're such good quality. It is incredible the quality of brushes you can get from Real Techniques for the price. Like, they should be selling these for so much more. So anyway, the first brush I'm using is their buffing brush. This is an amazing brush to use for foundation to really create this like perfect airbrushed finish. So I'm just gonna, you know, kind of buff it in using light circles until everything is blended and even. Okay, so you can already see that a little bit of foundation went a long way. My skin tone is much more even, but I still have these dark under eye circles that need a little bit more attention. So I'm using a concealer by L'Oreal. This is the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Crayon Concealer, and my shade is W123. So this is their Fair Light, but this is also warm. So basically, I'm just gonna put this under my eyes, and then I'm gonna blend it in with my fingers. You could use a concealer brush, but your fingers will work just fine. I do recommend, if you're going to use your fingers, make sure you have recently washed them or use some type of hand sanitizer, just so you're not spreading germs and bacteria to your face. And next, I'm just gonna use a tiny bit more foundation, put a teeny bit on my hand, and just go back in and just kind of, blend everything together, even everything out, just until I'm happy with my initial canvas. And also, I also always go onto my neck a little bit because you don't want to have this harsh line of where your foundation ends on your jaw. You want to just kind of blend it in. You don't need to do your entire neck, but just, you know, just kind of blend it in. I feel like it looks pretty good, but I want to set it. So I am going to use some powder. So the one I'm using today is by Maybelline. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Translucent Powder. So this is just a pressed powder. It doesn't have any color. Like, it looks really, really light, but it's actually just like clear, essentially. So why am I using this? Basically, I'm using this to set my makeup. If you use a cream or liquid product on your face, if you don't set it with powder, it's gonna move around. So the powder just sort of sets everything and keeps your makeup from sliding around. It helps it last longer. Okay, next, I want to add a little bit of color to my face, so I'm going to use some blush. I'm actually going to use 2 blushes because I really like to mix things and be crazy like that. I would recommend using a very nice sort of matte blush that works with your skin tone. So the first one I'm using is my NYX. This is the NYX Powder Blush, and this is the shade Mocha. It's a very, very neutral sort of shade. You know, it's like kind of this dusty rose. Very, very pretty. So I'm just gonna kind of put it on my cheekbones. Again, this brush is also by Real Techniques. This is a Real Techniques stippling brush. So you can see I'm just adding a little bit of life to my face, just a bit of dimension. I'm also using another blush. This blush is by Milani. This is the Milani Baked Blush, and the shade is Luminoso. This just has it's a nice corally pink, but it has a tiny, tiny bit of shimmer. So I'm not all about glitter. I don't really like glitter, but I do like a wee bit of sheen. And this will just give you a nice sort of healthy glow. If you put on too much blush, you can always go back and use that first foundation brush you used and just sort of work it in so it looks a little bit more natural. All right, and the final thing I always do, I think this is so important, especially for me, I'm curling my eyelashes and I'm gonna put on mascara. So if you have never used a lash curler, take some time and practice because it definitely hurts if you pinch your lid. Also, I really recommend if you're curling your lashes, don't just curl in one place. Curl kind of at the base and then go out and then go out, because that will give you a nicer, softer curl rather than just, you know, like a corner. Like if you just do it in one place, it's essentially like your lashes, juke. It's just too harsh. But if you curl in a few different places, it will give you a much prettier curl. I also recommend doing, you know, one eye and then the next and then going back a couple times. You don't need to expect to get the perfect curl on the first pass, but keep doing it. Already my eyes look so much more awake. Okay, and then I'm just using the CoverGirl Clump Crusher mascara. I'm doing, you know, a coat on my top and bottom lashes. And this will draw attention to my eyes, but it's not the bad attention. It's just the attention like, oh, your lashes look really pretty. Okay, and finally, to complete this look, lips. So you could use a lipstick, you could use a lip gloss. I wouldn't recommend doing anything too crazy or, you know, far away from your natural lip color. When we talk about lipsticks that are very similar to our lip color, we say your lips but better. So I'd recommend something like that, or just a really simple gloss. So the gloss I'm gonna use today, this is by NYX. This is the Pump It Up Lip Plumper. And I believe the shade of this is Kim, yes. So this is a lip plumper, so this one will make your lips a little bit tingly, but this is basically just going to add a nice shimmer, a nice sheen to my lips, nothing too crazy. So there you go, that is the finished makeup look. Basically, I just look alive. I look awake, I look healthy, my skin tone has been evened out, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to conquer this interview. Also, when you are choosing your foundation, if you have never worn makeup before, if you're not really big into makeup and you're not really sure which shade of foundation to get, ask someone for help. You can get makeup at so many places, the drugstore, Target, Walmart. There's another great store called Ulta. Ulta has high-end brands, low-end brands, they have drugstore brands, very, very affordable. I recommend going to Ulta if you've never, you know, picked out any makeup, because they will be able to help you choose the proper shade for you. Okay, and my final tip, number 7, is all about skincare. If you have never worn makeup before, you've probably never had to remove makeup. So I don't want you to start wearing makeup for your interview and for your job and then suddenly have skin problems, you know, like acne and blemishes, because you're not taking off your makeup. So I'm just gonna tell you a very, very quick way to remove your makeup and take care of your skin. because I love skincare. So first, if you're wearing makeup, you need to remove it. Don't just use your normal face wash to remove your makeup because most likely it won't break it down. It won't get it all off. A very simple way to remove your makeup is just use a bit of coconut oil. No, this will not clog your pores, okay? Coconut oil is a fabulous makeup remover. Basically, just take a little bit of coconut oil in your palms, rub it together until it melts, and then just kind of put it all over your face, maybe work it in a little bit to sort of get the makeup loosened up. Then take a tissue or like a cotton pad or something and just remove it, just wipe it off. Then go in and use your normal cleanser to actually, clean your skin, get off any little last bits of makeup and coconut oil. Also, I think it is very, very important to exfoliate your skin 2 to 3 times a week. I love exfoliating my skin. I love to keep removing that top dead layer of skin cells and just, it just keeps your skin looking so much younger, so much more dewy and fresh. So I say exfoliate 2 to 3 times a week. Also, moisturize. This is very, very important. I always have, a moisturizer in the morning and one that I use for night. And also, it's so, so nice to do, a treatment here or there. Get yourself some type of skin mask, some type of sheet mask, something lovely that you can just do to pamper yourself. I know you're probably super, super stressed out about this interview. You're kind of nervous. You're not really sure what's going on, but it's a lot of hard work and you definitely deserve a little pamper night. So you know what? Take 20 minutes, 30 minutes and just put on a mask and chill out. Okay, and finally, I have one extra final tip. Sleep. Please make sure you sleep in advance to your interview, not just the night before, but make sure, the week before you're getting a good night's rest, you're drinking a lot of water, you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your body. You'll probably be a bit nervous the night before your interview, so you might not sleep that great the night before. So as long as you're sleeping, pretty consistently well up until that night before, then you should be okay. Drink lots of water. You want to make sure your skin is hydrated. That will just help you look so much more healthy and glowing. But yes, sleep is your best friend when it comes to beauty. Your skin looks better. You think more clearly. Everything is better with a good night's rest. So there you go. Those are my beauty tips for your interview. Practice, 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 figure out your look in advance, figure out what you're going to do, keep it simple, less is more. And best of luck to you. I wish you all the best in the world. You are going to rock that interview. Be confident, you look great, you look amazing, and now go get them. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!